Also, Tony Schwar, who leads the Microsoft IE7 development team. And I guess when you're trying to introduce a speaker, of course you go scramble around and try to find out, hopefully find out some really cool information about them online. So I'd never met Tony before, and I actually happened upon his blog. And the blog is just so great. It's so warm and friendly. So after reading this blog, I thought, wow, this guy must be a really, really nice guy, and it turns out he is. So please welcome, with a round of applause, Tony Schwar. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Can you hear me? Is this one? Okay, great. Thank you, Alyssa. I noticed how you all laughed when I heard the Microsoft guy was a nice guy. Actually. Hopefully it's that big a surprise to you that we don't have horns or anything. I'm really excited to be here today. This is my first trip to Middle-earth, and have been a big fan of The Lord of the Rings, and it's kind of neat to come down here. Unfortunately, with all of our busy travel schedule and things, we haven't had as much time as I'd like to explore and maybe go to Hobbitown. But earlier in the week, I did get a chance to visit the Microsoft Auckland office. It's actually a lot smaller than it looks here. So that was a bit of a surprise, but still neat all the same to get a chance to go visit there. One more question? Yeah.
Who would win in an arm wrestling competition between you and Ben?
Who would win an arm wrestling contest between me and Ben? I'm sure Ben would. No, actually, I'll make one last statement around this. People want to make this into browser wars too low, and they love this sort of fight between David and Goliath, and of course, both sides think they're David. But it actually, we've had a very good relationship with a lot of the Firefox guys and the Opera guys. We have a lot of common problems that we have to solve together. Certainly, security is one, so we work together to buy certificates. There's things just on UI. We've actually licensed the RSS icon from the Firefox guys. Sorry, I didn't slip there. So there's no reason to confuse users over an arbitrarily different icon there. So a lot of ways, I think we owe it to really the web community to work together across browser vendors to make a better experience for everybody, a safer experience for everybody. We'll certainly compete fairly and aggressively, but it's really not the sort of contentious thing everyone wants to make it out to be. So once again, I want to thank you all for being here. Please stop by, give you a chance to win an Xbox, and please, please, please start testing with IE7. Thanks very much.
I spoke in Auckland last week to some students at the University of Auckland about Firefox. And the question I was asked is, what is Mozilla's focus? Is it on implementing standards, or is it on implementing proprietary APIs? That's a good question, because over the past few years, the focus of the Mozilla project has been on standards. But also, a bunch of other APIs have been implemented. Like, for instance, we've implemented undetectable document.all support, i.e. inner HTML property. So what we try and do is and I'm not personally a Gecko developer, but this is the feeling that I get, is that we try to implement standards as defined by the W3C and other groups like WhatWG, which will eventually find their way back to W3C, and implement tangible extensions when there is a tangible compatibility win. For instance, if we can not compromise our standard support and make sure that a whole bunch of sites work, the Gecko team will do that. The Gecko team will also look at standards that are available and may not necessarily implement every single one. But we'll take a look at the pros and cons.
We need to drive our standards compliance forward. Like Ben said, we're not planning on implementing standards for standards' sake. We're looking for things that are useful and valuable to you, to our users, our developers out there. There are also non-official standards, but de facto standards that will support. RSS is a good example, right? It's not really a standard, but it's used enough, people accept it, it's part of the web, and we want to make sure we have great support for those. And we'll also continue to innovate in new areas where we think we can bring benefit. That's right. So
We were just talking about content type sniffing and stuff for RSS feeds and stuff like that.
yeah, there's a lot of places where we can work together and make the web better together. I mean, between IE and Firefox, I think we have a pretty good platform, a good pulpit to deliver message.
Hey, Rod.
Hey.
But no simpler. And it's actually not your natural instinct. You know, if you're a business person, your natural instinct is to want to add features to your site and do lots of cool new stuff. If you're a technical person, then chances are you're drawn to the complex technical problems and the solutions which are typically complex as well. And it's really important that you fight that instinct. We spend a lot of time at Trademeet thinking about how we can make things simpler, what we can remove from our application and our architecture to try and make things easier for us to manage.
I need you to think about something that you're passionate about, and as a warm-up for the exercise that you're going to do a little bit later, you're going to tell every single person at your table the thing that you're passionate about. Now, if you have a lot of passions, just pick the one. The one that you feel is appropriate for a group that you
Truth is that, for example, on a question with Windows has many bugs, would you address that? Mr. G said, no, there are no significant bugs in our release software that any significant number of users want fixed. Right? Timing. It's marketing, the approach of the non-truth compared to the truth. Science compared to pure, simple lies. I see it.
Zooming in.
That's a very handy feature when you do demos.
Yeah.
People sitting in the back
The other goals, can you see these?
Yeah, it demos well. It demos really well.
Very flippy.
Certainly, yeah. German engineering has, in my perspective, one edge, and that is they're very detailed in things. The detail, obviously, in a demo like that, I can't really go into much, unfortunately.
better is better. So you all have to think, at every project you're doing, what can I help my users kick ass at? What can they really be better at? What do they want to be better at? How can we help them do it? That's our biggest question. Pop quiz. We messed up, and we're sorry. Who said that? Excellent. Oh, but you guys cheated because I accidentally shut that.
The usability, Doug.
It is my thing right now, yeah. Oh, cool. Very nice.